This girl's name is Nayla. She just graduated from high school and today is her first day of college. Because she dreams of becoming a lawyer, Nayla chose to study at the most prestigious law school in France, the University of Paris. That morning, Nayla was late. When she arrived at class, she didn't know where to sit because all the seats were taken. Seeing a new student show up late on the very first day, the professor called her out. His name was Pierre. Pierre was an expert in debate, communication, psychology, and public speaking. When Pierre found out that Nayla was of Arab descent, he immediately mocked her. He said Arabs were always late and had no manners. Not only did he insult her race, but he also claimed Muslims didn't belong in modern Europe and should stay in developing countries instead. Hearing those racist words, Nayla tried to defend herself angrily. But since Pierre was a debate expert, she lost the argument completely and couldn't respond anymore. The students who heard Pierre's remarks protested and sided with Nayla. Instead of apologizing, Pierre argued with all of them, and because he was so skilled, he left the entire class speechless. Some students recorded Pierre's racist remarks. Not long after, the dean arrived to welcome the freshmen. He announced that soon there would be a debate competition exclusively for first-year students. The dean explained that for 4 years straight, their university had always lost to others. He hoped this year's freshmen could finally win the most prestigious competition in France and bring home a medal that had been out of reach for so long. Anyone interested could sign up using the forms on the professor's desk. After class, Nayla originally wanted to register, but because the forms were on Pierre's desk and she was still hurt, she chose to leave. At home, Nayla lived only with her mother. As a single parent, her mom was rarely home because she had to work 2 jobs. That night, after finishing her assignments, Nayla went out with her friends. One of them, Munir, was very caring toward her. They had liked each other for a long time, but out of shyness, they never confessed their feelings, so they remained just friends. The next morning, Pierre was summoned to the dean's office. The dean asked him why he had bullied a new student with racist remarks. Because of Pierre's actions, the video had gone viral online, and the university's reputation was damaged. The campus council had launched an investigation. Once evidence was gathered, a tribunal would be held. If found guilty, Pierre would be fired. Pierre said nothing in response. That afternoon, before teaching, Pierre told Nayla not to leave after class. Again, he mocked her with racist remarks. Nayla was fed up, but as she was about to leave, Pierre told her to come to classroom number 4 the next day before going home. The following day, though still upset, Nayla went because Pierre was her professor. In the empty classroom, Pierre revealed that he had already signed her up for the inter-university debate and speech competition. From now on, before going home, she had to train there. Nayla didn't mind. After all, she had wanted to join. Pierre then tested her. What if she faced an opponent who supported the death penalty? Nervously, Nayla rambled on. Pierre explained that debates had time limits, so arguments must be short, clear, and sharp. Don't just focus on the topic, focus on the opponent. If the opponent supports the death penalty and lays out endless data and facts, don't panic. Just say, okay, you're pro-death, and I'm pro-life. Checkmate. The audience would clap, and you'd win. Hearing that, Nayla thought to herself, this guy might actually be useful. After class, Nayla hung out with her friends. While chatting, she and Munir kept sneaking glances at each other. Their friends noticed the chemistry, but pretended not to. That night, Pierre was walking home completely drunk. On the street, he saw a woman picking up her dog's poop. Even drunk, Pierre was annoying. Out of nowhere, he challenged her to a debate. When the woman lost the argument, she got so mad that she threw the poop at him. It missed. Furious, she stormed off. Pierre had won again. The next day, during practice in the empty classroom, Pierre mocked Nayla's clothes, saying they looked like something a poor thug would wear. At first, Nayla brushed it off, but when he insulted her race and religion again, she got upset and walked away. As she left, Pierre kept throwing racist remarks at her. Finally, Nayla snapped and said she hated him, really hated him. Pierre then explained, if you want to express feelings, your words must cut deep. Saying "I hate you" over and over has no effect. But if you say, "I tried to like you, but I can't, just looking at your face disgusts me," then the other person will feel stabbed. That's the art of speaking. Though still annoyed, Nayla began to understand. Pierre also told her not to wear shabby clothes again. Do you think appearance is trivial? Many people's voices go unheard just because of how they dress. People don't listen with their ears, they listen with their eyes. If you want to be heard, learn to present yourself. That night at home, Nayla vented to her mother about how irritating her professor was. Her mom comforted her and gave advice. Maybe she was just letting emotions take over. In her mother's view, the professor had knowledge that nobody else could offer. If Nayla was willing to learn, she might one day succeed and lift their family's status. The next day, Nayla trained again. This time, Pierre taught her about public speaking. When she tried reading a speech, Pierre scolded her for speaking unclearly and stumbling. Don't rush. After every 3 sentences, pause so the audience can digest your words. Pierre then made her practice speaking with a pen in her mouth so her words would come out clearer. Don't worry, it's halal, he joked. Nayla was starting to get used to his provocations and wasn't so thin-skinned anymore. He also explained that speeches should be delivered while standing tall. A speech isn't like a fairy tale. It's not just about sound. The audience watches, listens, and judges the speaker. If you look good, your message lands more easily. But even after all the practice, Nayla was still struggling. Out of frustration, Pierre dragged her to a crowded place to practice speaking louder and clearer. He reminded her that if people distracted or mocked her, she must stay focused. Unfortunately, during practice on the train, she got distracted by passengers and lost focus. Day by day, practice by practice, Nayla's articulation improved. Pierre kept teaching her more strategies. In debate or speech, there are 6 key strategies. One of them is numbers and data. If you speak endlessly without numbers, your words will feel empty. But the moment you mention figures, especially percentages like 10%, 15%, suddenly people believe you. A few days later, the inter-university debate and speech competition began. Nayla was chosen to go first, against a male student from another university. The judges announced the topic: clothing. The debate started with the opponent giving a general speech about human clothing, but eventually he shifted to talking about how terrorists disguise themselves in society. Hearing that, Nayla lost her cool. Even though Pierre told her to stay calm, she snapped and scolded the audience for clapping at such a racist speech. The judges warned her if she couldn't control her emotions, she'd be disqualified. She tried to refocus and argued with the point she had prepared, but because she had lost concentration, her speech came out unclear and awkward. Sensing her nervousness, her opponent whistled, mocked, and laughed at her. Luckily, the judges ruled him out for breaking the rules, whistling and interrupting. He was disqualified, making Nayla the winner by default. Outside, Pierre scolded her. Why had she forgotten everything from training? He had told her countless times, don't get provoked, stay focused, and never use emotions in a debate. On the train later, Pierre made her practice again in public. In the next round, she must not let anyone throw her off. But when she started, she burst into laughter out of embarrassment. She couldn't stay focused either, distracted by a loud street musician playing in the train. Fed up, Pierre stepped in to demonstrate. The moment he spoke, the whole train fell silent. The musician even changed his tune to accompany Pierre. An elderly woman, amazed, gave him spare change as if he were performing. Nayla was stunned and admitted she admired his skill. Pierre replied casually, "That's the art of speaking." Pierre went on to explain that the essence of speaking wasn't about honesty or lies, but about right and wrong. There isn't a single person on earth who's never lied, but if you deliver a lie the right way, people accept it. And even the truth, if said the wrong way, will be rejected. That night, on her way home, Nayla bumped into Munir and his friends. When they got a chance to talk alone, Nayla decided to practice one of Pierre's techniques. She started a debate, accusing Munir of secretly hating her because she'd been too busy with college and hardly spent time with him. Munir quickly denied it. He said he didn't hate her at all. In fact, he missed her. With a sad expression, Nayla pressed him again. "How could you miss me if you don't even like me? If you don't care about me?" Seeing her face, Munir couldn't hold back anymore. He admitted it. Yes, he liked her. And yes, he cared. Checkmate. Nala had made him confess without realizing it. She then explained. That was called the antiphrase technique, using the opposite of what you want to hear in order to draw out the truth. Now that she finally knew his feelings, Nayla kissed him without hesitation. The next day in class, Pierre gave a lecture about how racism in the world was still widespread. Bullying happened everywhere. He even brought up the recent case in France where a cartoon of the prophet was published and people stayed silent out of fear. Even if they speak up, their voices aren't heard, he said. So how can we defend or fight for something if we don't even know how to speak? The entire class felt struck by his words. Days passed as Pierre and Nella trained relentlessly for the next round. They grew closer, and Pierre didn't just teach debate, he also drilled her in public speaking. One exercise was word linking, a way to keep the brain from going blank while talking. For example, if we breathe, it means we like oxygen. If we like oxygen, we like nature. If we like nature, we like Africa. If we like Africa, we like big things. If we like big things, we like elephants. Because elephants are beautiful animals, that means we must like women. And women are the most beautiful beings on earth. Not only did he sharpen his mind, Pierre also taught her the art of insulting an opponent. Swear words like bastard or jerk are empty. They don't cut deep. The real art of insulting is psychological. If you only curse, you'll have to repeat it over and over to provoke a reaction. But if you attack something personal, like physical traits or private matters, you can shatter someone's psychology in seconds. He warned her, though, this technique was a double-edged sword. If used carelessly, it could be dangerous. Though extreme, Nala was excited to learn things she'd never been taught before. Time flew, and round after round of the competition passed. Nala delivered a deeply moving speech that won her the championship. The once unknown girl was now famous, her voice heard at universities across France. After the competition, Pierre took Nala out to dinner to celebrate. Over the meal, she told Pierre about Munir. Their relationship had never moved forward before, but after learning communication skills, they were now a couple. Though Munir was just a taxi driver, he always believed Nala would succeed one day. Seeing her so happy, Pierre couldn't help but feel glad too. The next day, in campus, a celebration for Nala's victory was held. Before the party began, the dean invited her to the stage to give a speech. She thanked everyone and dedicated her win to the university. The hall erupted in applause. Afterwards, students and guests mingled. Among them, a senior student came up to congratulate Nala. Then he leaned in and revealed something. Don't you realize Pierre planned all of this? That first day when he openly acted racist while students were recording, do you really think that was coincidence? He did it on purpose so it would go viral. He's the one who signed you up for the competition too. He wanted the public's attention. The senior explained that he knew because once upon a time, he had done the same thing with Nala. To a professor like Pierre, you were the perfect experiment. You're a woman. Women are often seen as less than men. You're Muslim. Islam is often branded as terrorism. You're an Arab immigrant. Immigrants are seen as a burden. Even your hair is mocked just because it isn't straight. Everything about you screams minority. Without realizing it, you've become a symbol. Through you, Pierre wanted to prove that minorities can have a voice and that their voices deserve to be heard. But to send that message, Pierre sacrificed himself. Since that viral video, Pierre's reputation has been ruined. For weeks, the university council has been investigating. Tomorrow is his ethics trial. If found guilty, he'll be fired. and with his name destroyed, no university will ever hire him again. His career as a professor will be over. Nala was stunned. She rushed to Pierre and said she knew everything now. "Do you think I can be happy enjoying this fame while my professor sacrifices his entire career?" she said bitterly, then walked away. The next day, she skipped class and stayed locked in her room. Meanwhile, Pierre prepared for the ethics tribunal. Nala, still upset, couldn't stay at ease. She went to Munir's house in tears, telling him everything. She was lost and didn't know what to do. Munir said, "The woman I love isn't weak like this. You need to go to that trial. With the communication skills Pierre taught you, I know you can convince the council and save him." With little time left, Munir drove her straight to campus. When she arrived, the council was interrogating Pierre. Nala asked for permission to testify, hoping her words could make a difference. Once allowed, she spoke. At first, she hated Pierre for being racist and insulting her religion, but now she understood. He had a purpose. He wanted to teach her that when your race, faith, body, or anything precious about you is demeaned, you must know how to defend it. On her first day, all she could do was get angry. But now, thanks to Pierre, she was ready to fight back if anyone insulted her faith again. Because of him, her life had changed. As a child of immigrants, she never dared to dream big. She always felt inferior to native-born French kids. But now she had won a national competition. She was certain she could become a great woman one day. All thanks to the racist professor sitting beside her. He had shown her her true path. After her testimony, Nala left the room. Hearing her words, the Ethics Council decided to close Pierre's case. After the hearing, Pierre ran after Nala, calling her name. Still angry, she pretended not to hear. Pierre yelled again, this time using racist slurs. Finally, Nala turned around, but this time, she didn't get mad. She laughed through tears. They reconciled and walked away together. Years later, after graduating, Nala had become a lawyer. One day, she met with a robbery suspect. At first, he dismissed her and told the police to replace her with a male lawyer. "A woman can't do anything," he scoffed. By the moment Nala began to speak, he fell silent and obeyed everything she said. Speaking is a skill that can change everything. The right words can turn doubt into belief, silence into strength, and fear into courage. Like Nala discovered, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Because a voice used with clarity and conviction can open doors and move hearts. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.